You can start to break out of that box and you go. And I'm adding in arpeggios. Hey everybody, what's going on? Been a while since I put a long form video up. I wanted to do a little bit of a lesson on making the minor pentatonic musical. How do you make it musical? Well, we know, let's use A minor pentatonic. That seems to be a guitar favorite, right? So if you don't know the first position, you're starting at the 5th fret of the 6th string, and you're gonna play first finger, 4th finger, first finger, 3rd finger, first finger, 3rd finger, first finger, 3rd finger, first finger, 4th finger, first finger, 4th finger, right? That's the easiest way to think of it, as a box. People talk about playing out of the box. Let's learn to play within the box first, okay? And make the most of each box. So let's just talk about that first position. I'm gonna talk about fingering. Again, 1 finger per fret across 4 frets, starting at the 5th fret. And I'm gonna play 1, 4, relating to the fingers that I'm playing. 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. If I change the key, I can change it to C. As long as I start on the C note on the 8th fret, I can play 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. I played an F, which actually responds to the frets that I'm talking about and the fingers. It's 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. Okay, so that's a quick little lesson. Blowing past, that's how you play the minor pentatonic scale first position. Now, how do we make it musical? Well, first step is to create some exercises. First, get comfortable and memorize it for sure. The best way to do that, in my mind, is to kind of think of it as that code of 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. I'm also using alternate picking, you'll notice. Now, getting to the musical part, do things that will take you outside of just that scale pattern. I mean, that's all well and good. I'll play a little backing track of A7 for a second. All right. So. Not thinking about timing or anything right there, just how do the notes sound? Great. So that's the basics, right? And you want to have some sort of pedal, like a looper pedal or a backing track or something like iReal Pro to play an A, for example, in the background. So when you're doing that, you're listening to the different tones. And I'll do that and I'll slow it down and listen to each note. The root note sounds really in the pocket. This one does not. The flat third, not quite there, right? It's that rub. 4, 5, pretty there. Flat 7 sounds good. Go through all of them, okay, and listen to it. Then I would say you'd start creating patterns. So one simple pattern would be to play a 3-note pattern. 1, 2, 3. Then you go back to that second note. All right. Again, you want to focus on playing it on time. I'm really stressing the sound of it, but it'll sound something like this. Great. Then you can do 4 notes. So against the music, it would sound something like this. It's the 3-note pattern. Sound like this. Sorry. You can break that up rhythmically any way you want. In terms of quarter notes, eighth notes, 16ths, you can do triplets, swinging eights, and that gets a little bit technical, but let's stay, just don't worry about that too much right now. Listen to the sound. These sounds should sound somewhat familiar. A lot of people use that kind of thing in a solo. It sounds like a Allman Brothers run almost. So those are a couple patterns. I'll give you a few more. So you can play, or let's just skip a string. So you can play the 2 notes on the 6th string, play the 2 notes on the 4th string, 2 notes on the 5th, 2 notes on the 3rd, then 4, 2, 3, 1. So that'd be. Just the opposite on the way back. That creates finger independence and gives you a wider intervallic sound. Let's listen to what that sounds like. So they all sound a little bit different over top of that. Now, combining things like slides, hammer-ons, and pull-offs will make it sound even more musical and more lyrical. What do I mean by that? Well, a hammer-on would be, you're playing the lower note, hammering onto the higher note on each string. On the way back, you can do the opposite. So you're pulling off from the higher string, pulling off to the lower note on each string. Alright, so I'm combining hammer-ons and pull-offs there. That makes it a little bit more fluid, not as robotic. The other thing is slides. Slide to the higher, lower note to the higher note, or higher to lower. Alright, it's a little bit weird because you're moving your hand around and you're just using that one finger. But if you combine those, well, that sounds great. And I added some vibrato, which gives it a more vocal, lyrical quality. Let's hear what that sounds like. So what did I do there? I skipped strings like in that exercise. So I'm going back to my habits of playing blues notes and chromatics. Forget about that for a second. So I was combining that 4 note per string. And I was using hammer-ons and pull-offs. So you can combine these different patterns and so many more in musical ways. Now, again, playing it against a backing track, you really start to hear how it feels. The exercises, as they are all the way through, create finger independence, create that coordination between your 2 hands, and then you have to start using your ear and listening to what sounds good to you, and that's what will create your own musical style. Again, we're just staying in that 4-fret box, and it can be moved into any key, but, you know, guitar key, guitar-friendly A. So, we didn't talk about yet are bends. Let's stay away from bends now, only because bending, a lot of people think, okay, fine, let's talk about bending really quickly. A lot of people think bending is bending from a note. It's not. You're bending into a note. What's the difference? I'll use this as an example. So I'm bending this note here. I'm bending from this note into something I have no target to go to. When you realize the target is essentially the next note in the scale, you want to find that. So I pre-bent that note and released. So all these things create a more vocal, slidey sort of effect, a smoother effect, and you're sliding. practice getting that. So I did a hammer on pull off, hammer on pull off of one pick. So how do I combine all of these things in one position to make it musical? Well, let's go through a few different examples. Don't be afraid to hang on one note and let it breathe a little bit. It's like when you're speaking, there are speech patterns. You don't talk like this like a robot all the time and don't take a breath. That gets monotonous and boring. You say, repetition. You create repeated motifs. I did something like a... I don't know, something along those lines, but your ears tends to follow patterns. So you create little patterns, repetitive patterns and motifs that will lead you through in a particular direction. So that's what you want to aim at. Now, just to get familiar with the notes, you can do exercises like just random notes, not thinking about the pattern or the scale. It sounds very disjointed, but it's a good way to remember the notes without having to go through the pattern as it is, 1-4, 1-3, 1-3. But doing those different exercises will help you with that as well. So that's just a little exercise in terms of making it a little bit more musical, just these notes, rather than sounding like you're playing a scale all the time up and down. That can get very boring after a while. So incorporating these So I slid into second position there. It's hard for me to keep things there, but mostly it was all in first position. So that's what you want to do, position by position. That was first position. Second position, okay, it starts on the second note of the scale, which happens to be where your fourth finger is. You're going to use your second finger there and play the pattern for second position. Again, fingering wise, it's a 4-fret box, and you're playing fingering wise like this: 2-4, 1-4, 1-4, 1-3, 2-4, 2-4. I have all of these individually as lessons on the channel, kind of way early back. I'll try to link it, but otherwise you can just search on the channel for second position minor pentatonic. Either way, same thing applies. So it's the same notes. Just in a different area or position of the guitar. And when I slid into that, it's the same note as the next note on the string. It's just instead of going into a different position, you get it a couple frets higher. So that's the thing that's confusing about a guitar versus a piano. A piano is very linear. You can play one note in one place and that's it. Where here you can play one note in multiple places. Right? You can play it. So there's a bunch of ways to play that one note that can be a little bit confusing. Regardless, experiment, have fun, try eventually to get to a place where you can hum along with what you're doing. So that would be singing along. So if you get familiar with the notes, you want to get a little bit more advanced, you can sing. You don't have to have an amazing voice. I certainly don't. But it's a matter of internalizing the sound of it and knowing what to anticipate and what to expect. When you hear very advanced players, usually you'll hear them singing along with what they're doing. And it creates a more musical rather than guitar pattern exercise sound. So an example of that would be one way to do it. But start by going, and you can do that with all the different exercises. For example, when you're string skipping, it'll actually train your voice for singing, which is always a good thing as a guitar player. Even if you just want to sing backups and harmonies, it's good to have that skill, but to be able to sing your melodies. So again, same note, I just slid up again. Habit, what am I going to do? But that's an example of being more vocal. So those are some great ways to make your pentatonic scales, your blues playing, your rock playing, any kind of guitar playing, but based on those minor pentatonic scales, much more musical and still staying basically within that box. So then you can start to break out of that box and you go, and I'm adding in arpeggios, going into different positions, and you know, adding in chromatics, all those different things, which are great, but one thing at a time. Start there. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. If you have any requests for certain types of lessons, I'd be happy to do that. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. All right.